the Immortal Cataclysm. To the far NERP lived a tribe of barbarian pirates who believed one day fish would fall from the sky, hydras would rise from the earth, sharks would swim through land, singularities would crash into enemies, and supernovas would smack evil across the face. And thunderstorms would crash wherever the cataclysm. One destined to be the most powerful wizard ever, a vampiric being of the sea, one who could cause chaos with every step would walk. That's you. However, well, let's say you were never the smartest in terms of magic. Or really most things in your clan. To counteract this, you learn to control your magic with your own blood instead of that fancy blue bar that most other fantasy games use. Utilizing that and your tribe's traditional ice magic, you set off, destined for greatness, despite your shortcomings. Short. You journeyed into the Wonderlands to find your fate. For this build, you will pick either the Berserker or the Graveborn as your first class, then the other as your second later on in the story. Personally, I chose Graveborn first and struggled a lot until I learned the playstyle. In all honesty, would recommend Berserker first for the extra bit of tankiness and easier to understand playstyle, in my opinion. For background, if it wasn't obvious, you should pick the thick background to boost strength and slightly lower intelligence. Skill point wise, grab ones that boost melee damage and max health early on if you're playing on intense. Your end game Graveborn skills should be Mortal Vessel 5 out of 5, Essence Drain 5 out of 5, Sanguine Sacrament 3 out of 3, Dark Hydra 3 out of 3, and, if I'm being honest, boost this as much as you can with class mods in my opinion. Dread Covenant 1 out of 1, Ascension 3 out of 3, Lord of Edges 1 out of 1, Blast Gasp 4 out of 5, and Morhem's Blessing 1 out of 1. Endgame Berserker skills should be 3 out of 3 Unyielding, 5 out of 5 Savagery, 5 out of 5 The Old Ways, 1 out of 3 Instinct, 3 out of 3 Blood Frenzy, and 1 out of 1 Relentless Rage. Meanwhile, your hero stats should be as follows: max strength at 38 out of 38, and intelligence 27 out of 27, and push the rest into attunement for a total of 23. Your playstyle should look a little something like this. Use the Reaper of Bones, immediately cast a spell, proc as many spell-like effects as you can on your weapons, take out small mobs to spawn your max number of Hydras, and just kind of loop through them. Make sure you have the Reload Singularity enchantment, which I'll go over specifically in gear, and that you reload before using your melee for your first strike of your melee swings to bring all your enemies into one clump, and then use your spell on the whole clump. And don't be afraid to get up close and personal once you start finding your groove of continually recharging your health and therefore your action skill with spells and spell effects. Side note, if you go with Berserker first, you don't have access to this action skill right away. Either of theirs are really good from what I've tested them out. So yeah, you just won't be starting off with this playstyle. For gear, I went with an Ocean God theme, while trying my best to choose weapons that were still good. I focused on ones that have magic effects that count as spells. However, in some places I did have to change it for stronger over ocean themed. Firstly, for gear, you'll need a gun, your choice really, that has the Reload Singularity enchantment. Then you'll want to get your hands on Drill's SMG. You should be able to get this from the story. A Message of Blast Off. This is the legendary Torg that shoots a fish. I found 2 of them in my playthrough, so I don't think they'll be too hard to farm for from my experience, both of which are from random chests and dungeons. And the head cannon for completing the Blue Hat quest near the end of the game. The melee weapon should have been Tide Sorrow for completing the Garret of Trivia quest at the Oasis later on for its flavor. However, I couldn't get it to work properly with the build. Like, it was okay, I just couldn't use it on higher chaos difficulties. So on those, I'd recommend Spellblade of the Assassin or Body Spray of the Butcher, due to them being both far stronger weapons and either regenerating your magic faster or keeping you topped up on health even more. For rings, make sure to go with the Sharklescent ring. You get this for siding with the Shark God over the pirates in a side quest, and whichever other ring you'd prefer. I chose Focus Class ring, but it's whatever you think would work best for the playstyle, as I haven't found one I 100% want to say goes there. For shields, you'll want a Casting Full Battery, which you get in the main story, at least I did, for that extra lightning all around. Necklace is really your choice, however, I'd aim for dark magic efficiency, spell boost, and or action cooldown boosts. The spell should be the Great Wake from finishing what I think was the Pirate Skeleton quest where he lost his memory. This is a great spell thematically, and from my experience really strong. I'd farm for the best one you can get. And lastly, armor, it's just the best that you can find. I'd recommend searching for the legendary Graveborn and Berserker mixed class mod, but the odds of finding those are slim, and I've been farming for them for a while and still haven't found anything. So I personally just went with the Spore Warden / Graveborn one, but obviously there are better choices here. With these, nearly every attack, and well, obviously every spell, will count towards Sanguine Sacrament. Even if you aren't in Reaper of Bones, you should be able to heal on a very consistent basis. Besides this, you will also have a longer time and fight for your life as long as you keep doing damage, and hence why I named this build the Immortal. I've tested this build on the Chaos Trials, and my initial playthrough was on Intense. This was my response to getting my booty handed to me and rocked by this game, and also doesn't include any myth ranks, so level those up however you'd like. However, there's some definite places for improvement in this build, especially if I were to move away from the theme. However, I thought the theme would be more fun than just min-maxing. Anyways, I hope you enjoy your newfound immortality in the Wonderlands, and see you next time.